declare Marawi City liberated from the terrorist influence that marks the beginning of rehabilitation of the city.
We now announce the termination of all combat operations in Marawi. We declare that this achievement is clear manifestation of how our regional cooperation can lead to a decisive advance against the proliferation of terrorism in this part of the world.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Pia Hontiveros. Defeating mounted terrorists is just half the battle. Now authorities are moving fast to restore the once beautiful city of Marawi. So we're doing this special Newsnight roundtable to discuss the task of rebuilding the city. Residents displaced by the war have long been waiting to set foot in their hometown again, even if they face uncertainties in a city almost reduced to rubble. Our extra media tells us about the challenges ahead.
As the government is set to allow 9,000 Marawi residents to return to their homes, even the farthest barangays from the war zone still resemble ghost towns. Businesses remain closed except for a few stores which have almost no customers as well. Samsuden Calauto, who owns a shop of antique Maranao items, earns only 3,000 pesos per month, a mere portion of his usual revenues before the war.
Kung walang gulo, mayroon pang 60,000, 30,000, mayroon pang 100,000. Mahirap. Anim ng anak ko hindi makakuha ng gastos.
Among the urgent needs in Marawi City are jobs and sources of livelihood. Some are enterprising, like Amera Sulaiman and her husband, who put up a sari-sari store. Even before the fighting was declared over, she and her relatives left the evacuation center in Iligan City in September to return here to Barangay Basak Malutlut. Power and water supply are slowly being restored, but water still has to be bought.
Mahal, 30 per 5 gallons yung nauubos namin.
Life is hard, she says, since their income is unstable. This may be the same fate of other returning residents.
Kasi dati, kahit yung gusto namin kainin, nakakain namin. Ngayon, sakto lang yung kinikita ng asawa ko.
Authorities assure they will provide livelihood assistance and small loans for the returning residents.
Number one is we're planning to set up a market inside the controlled area so that we can facilitate the economic life of residents even within the safe zone.
They will also set up a cash for work program for those without entrepreneurial skills. Authorities admit the economic plan for the residents of Marawi is still being finalized. That's why they say they're now working double time to make sure their future will not be put at risk. In Marawi City, Rex Remitio, CNN, Philippines.
Joining us in this roundtable discussion, the mayor of the city of Marawi, Majul Gandamra, and Crisis Management Committee spokesman Zia Alonto Adyong. Mayor Gandamra and Assemblyman Adyong, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
It's a pleasure.
What are your thoughts right now, your feelings about having Marawi liberated, time to rebuild again? Ano yung nasa isip ninyo? Mayor Gandamra, kayo po muna.
Well, on my part, there's this mixed feelings. First, talagang tayo po ay natutuwa dahil natapos na po ang kabuluhan. No? Yung suffering ng ating mga kababayan ay medyo nawawala na. But of course, nalulungkot at the same time that when we saw the result of this siege, talaga hong napakalaking pinsala na naidulot sa ating mga kababayan. Not only in terms of physical infrastructures, but as well as the lives of our people. May mga namatay, nawalan ng hanap buhay, so on and so forth.
And of course, the trauma, no? The wounds of war.
Yes, of course.
If we were going to assign a percentage, what percentage of Marawi was destroyed?
Well, I would say 33 barangays, that would be 32% of the total population.
33%.
But those barangays na hindi masyadong naapektuhan ay still naapektuhan yung mga constituents doon because they were displaced and they evacuated to different places. So I would
about
say
a third of the city.
Yung sa physical infrastructure,
physical
but the whole constituents were affected as a result of the the massive evacuations of our people.
Assemblyman Adyong, your thoughts first about
I think that the people already knew that it will come to the point that the Marawi city can be fully liberated. The death of Omar Maute and Espilon Hapilon did not came as a surprise, although it came later than sooner. But everybody was expecting that there will come a time that Marawi City will be liberated from the Maute and from the ASG. Similar with Mayor Gandamra, we are locals. No, I grew up and I was raised in Marawi City.
Your ancestral home was destroyed.
Exactly, yes.
Right?
So everybody was well. When you're inside the MBA, it's a different it's a different feeling.
MBA main
battle area. I was there. I was brought by the military. Mayor Gandamra was also brought in by the military, and there was a feeling of eeriness. There was no semblance of familiarity anymore, and that's when reality sinks in. Like how can I tell people that their houses are gone, everything's gone. So the most difficult part here, Pia, is really to convey the message. Because it's really hard to talk about substance and plans when emotions are running too high, and that is what's happening right now. So the challenge now on the part of the local government units is really to send the message across to the people that every plan that we are about to put in place would be for their own good, no matter whether they resettle in Iligan for quite some time or they will return to the Marawi City. Everything will be put in place according, number one, for the benefit of them.
And they will be consulted, of course. No?
Yes, of
when
course.
you say plans, there is as yet no firm, solid plan. Kumbaga, wala pa talaga siyang blueprint. Correct? For everything, to rebuild everything. When we say everything, we mean rebuilding homes, buildings, other infrastructure, bridges, the streets, the drainage system, for example, everything.
Tama po yan. Wala pa siyang talagang concrete plan. But few days ago, we submitted before the Task Force Bangon Marawi the consolidated master plan. Pero yan po ay subject for enhancement.
Okay.
Papasok dyan ng mga experts, like for example, the urban planners and of course the engineers. So,
yeah, a consolidated master plan showing how how you will literally rebuild the city. No?
yes, ma'am. Kasama po dyan kasi what was affected is not all Marawi City, but that includes some municipalities from the province of Lanao del Sur. Kanya po, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng consolidated master plan. Kasama po dyan ang mga ibang affected localities.
Okay. When you talk about yung priority dun sa rebuilding, is it what you call the transitional homes, where people will temporarily settle before? Ganun ba yun?
It's part of, right now po, di pa ho tayo nagsisimula ng rehabilitation and reconstruction, and we are now starting to construct these transition shelters purposely, of course, to decongest our evacuation centers in some part of the region. So yan po ngayon ay sinisimulan natin yung pag-construct, and we're also planning to construct permanent shelters for those who will be permanently displaced. Like for example, those living in a no-build zone. Hindi na po tayo papayagan na makabalik doon because precisely hindi po pwedeng patayuan ng mga pamamahay.
Itong mga transitional homes, ito ba yung 1,100 transitional homes in Barangay Sagungsongan? Ito ba yun?
Tama po yan. And additionally, we are looking for an expansion. In fact, we nakakita ho tayo ng additional land for the expansion of temporary shelters in the adjacent barangay. So yan po ay dadagdagan natin because we need at least more than 6,000 shelters to house this temporarily itong mga evacuation.
6,000 shelters for
6,300 plus
6,300 families.
Opo.
In other words, itong mga sa Barangay Sagungsongan and the other areas, ito yung total, is it 20 hectares? Is that correct?
This, yung Sagungsongan po, consisting of 11 hectares, and doon po sa adjacent land, adjacent barangay, 4 hectares, and doon po sa binigay din ng ating provincial government, I think 2 hectares, so that would consist of at least 17 hectares.
Yeah. Yung land that is owned privately, I understand merong parang konting problema because, well, matagal na itong problema, hindi po ba sa Marawi?
Yes.
About land ownership, no?
Yes.
Conflicting claims. There are no titles, I understand? At least, let's talk first about yung lupa para sa transitional homes.
Well, this is covered by military reservation. It was declared way back 1950s. But ito po ay inuukupan na ng mga private individuals. Meron na ho silang mga historical claims dito. So,
Historical claims meaning?
Meaning, mas nauna po yung kanilang mga ninuno na talagang nagmamayari doon sa lupa. But because of the declaration of course, it was 1950 na ito ay na-declared under military reservation. So, ganun po ang nangyari. Nagkaroon ng conflicting ownership.
I think the Marawi siege is a perfect opportunity for the president to really correct the historical injustice as being pronounced by the president over and over again when he talks about moral issue. Again, for several days ago, or even last year when he was elected president, one of his platform is really to correct the injustices committed against the Moro people. And this is the perfect opportunity, the Marawi siege. It opens portal for this administration, for the government, in general, to correct the historical injustices against the Moro people.
So there is that.
So already the president can really issue, yet to give out the lands to the rightful owners. It's a presidential declaration. The president has the power to abolish that, or even to make another proclamation citing that this land will be used for to be distributed for the real owners, which in this case, the constituents of Mahol. I am a part of his constituent, so according to the mayor, so that we can actually accommodate all these concerns. And remember, Pia, this is a calamity that is brought out by an ongoing armed conflict. So we have to be in all proposals to solve the Marawi problem, in trying to really go to the stage of full rehabilitation of the city. We have to have a social healing process. And by doing so, we have to craft a possible solution for that is conflict sensitive and peace promoting. So this is perfect opportunity for for the national government to really correct the wrongs and making sure that the victims can be fully integrated in the Philippine society by providing them the justice that they truly deserve. And part of this is the land ownership issue.
So there is opportunity in crisis and in chaos, which we will talk about later. And it appears, and this is what we're going to move into, because the rebuilding is not just the physical infrastructure, not just the buildings, the bridges, the houses, the roads, the drainage system, but also what you're talking about,
social healing,
social healing, parang correcting all the wrongs that were there in Marawi from the very beginning. So we'll look back at the events that unfolded from the day of the siege up to the liberation of Marawi City. This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Welcome to Facebook Live. It's CNN Philippines Newsnight. This is still the roundtable. We're talking about Marawi rehabilitation. One comment, Salma Hajinur, saying, quote, please include Marawi City Mayor Mahud Gandamra and Crisis Management Committee spokesperson Zia Lonto Adyong. Joining us now also presidential advisor and entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion, who's also leading a private sector effort to contribute to rebuilding the city. I'm not going to say secretary kasi
No,
hindi
no,
naman
I'm not.
secretary. Mr.
Definitely.
Concepcion, thank you for being here. Well, let's talk first about, there was that comment during the break about please include drainage system and waste disposal system for Marawi. These are very basic concerns.
Yes, ma'am. That includes in the rehabilitation and reconstruction, the modern
dati
drainage
po ba,
system.
Dati, ano po yung drainage system?
Meron na tayong drainage system, but of course, there are...
Medyo naiwan ng panahon.
Naiwan na ho.
Okay. All right. Also, one more question, because, and this was something that we discovered during the war, yung mga bahay doon sa Marawi, yung mga walls nila fortified, parang bunkers, no? When we talk about rebuilding, for example, those homes, will they be rebuilt like that?
Well, doon po sa aming master plan, we included that in our yung reparation for the private properties.
Reparation for
Yes,
private
yes
property.
po.
So they will build their homes as if yung tulad ng dati. Because what we got, and please correct us if we're wrong, the reason why those homes are like that, na fortified, hindi lang siya hollow block, pero buhos ba ang tawag? Dahil nga dun sa mga away ng mga pamilya.
I don't think so. It has something to do with the climate, Pia.
Climate.
The climate and the topography. Like the Maranao likes to welcome all the relatives in, and sometimes the Maranao are very, they're business minded people, and usually what they do is the houses instead of the regular houses that you see around urban areas. Usually high-rise ang direction ng kanilang bahay because below is their businesses, commercial, and then residential yung sa second floor. That's one of the things that we need to emphasize. This is something to do with culture. So anything that has to be done, the proposal to really make a blueprint for the Marawi city, it has to be culturally sensitive. That's why the program.
So it has not the fortified walls. Parang a la bunker has nothing to do with the fact with the.
Well, there are really cases of redo.
Okay,
but that's not the general
that's not
excuse
why
or reason why it was they were built
anyway,
like that.
so they will be built. They will be rebuilt like that. In other words.
Well, that depends on. It's an ongoing process, no? Like Mayor,
okay.
It's an ongoing process. It has to go through the consultation. Even architect Jun Palafox, when he had this meeting with the mayor. He actually told us that he wanted the Maranao architects to be part of his team once they will, plan out the blueprint for Marawi City because he was really sensitive about the culture. Again, you have to make sure that the people participate in the rebuilding of Marawi City because we've been emphasizing this crisis should be owned by the people. In the process of the rehabilitation, it has to also be the people should also be included. So you have to make sure the participation so that you can also inspire the social acceptance. Okay. So that's actually the formulation that we are about to to arrive at in terms of there's going to be a blueprint for Marawi rehabilitation.
Okay. Presidential Advisor on Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion is also here. Sir, can you tell us about private sector efforts to help rebuild Marawi? And we understand this is not just about the businessmen, corporations, companies pouring money into Marawi. There are actual concrete efforts to help rebuild not just physical infrastructure, but help in livelihood, for example.
Well, we really have to look at the whole issue. What happened in Marawi? Is it an ideology that's building up in Marawi, or is it just one of those that just happened to be? Many of these problems arise because of poverty. Sometimes people move to a different ideology because they're desperate and they need help.
And they need to survive.
Like the source of drug addiction and drug problems is always poverty. Something like this is also poverty. If you look at the 10 top areas of poorest provinces in the entire Philippines, it's basically in Mindanao, and definitely Lanao, Marawi, and all of them are part of that. Now, how do we help the citizens rebuild? I think the rebuilding has to come not structurally only. It has to come from building the kind of attitude, the kind of outlook that the citizens should look forward to, and the private sector definitely can help here. We're not going to donate homes. I think that's the government that has to do that. We're going to help in the livelihoods phase. And
you're already starting that, no?
Yes. Your sister is leading the whole group.
Gingay.
Yeah. Gingay is leading the whole group in really building the network. We're tied up with the mayor, and we're moving into other provinces. We started this with Sulu, and it's moving along. I mean, you have the mentoring program, you have the money part being provided by the private sector, and you have the entire network providing the market. No, so
the whole idea here, Mr. Concepcion, is that you're not just giving them fish, but you're teaching them how to fish. You have to,
because it's not going to be sustainable once you just give them. You know, we did that in the earliest stages of Marawi, but the relief goods, the water, the milk, whatever, the private sector really poured it in. But that is just to help for the time being. You need to have a sustainable effort. And teaching them on a livelihood project, especially in the agricultural sector, that is where we're going to support.
Livelihood, like they're taught planting vegetables,
rice, whatever crop that is suitable to the specific area. And that will be done massively. In fact, I was talking to Alex Benventura of Land Bank. They too are going to embark on a project by putting a private sector leading the initiative in a massive project down in Lanao. So I think what we have to try to do is prevent this from happening again. And the only way to do this is, while you can fix the buildings and all of that, we have to ensure that if there is that ideology, it should be killed. And we have to reinforce that to the citizens of these provinces that the whole country is behind them, and we really want them to succeed. In fact, the Maranaos are the most entrepreneurial. And it's they're hardworking. So there is no reason why this should happen again.
Okay, so they're going to be taught. Oh, well, they are already.
They are. We have embarked already, and in fact, there's modules being done today. But once the dust settles completely, then and the rebuilding efforts come, then we now can identify areas where we can start these modules of agri programs.
Okay. Zia Adyong, Assemblyman Zia Adyong, on the day the President declared Marawi liberated, we were speaking on the phone, and I was asking, about, apart from the physical rehabilitation...
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you at that time.
It's okay. But you used a very interesting term. You said, let's talk about also the elephant in the room. No? And kanina, nabanggit na natin, halimbawa, this issue of land ownership, titling, etc. But there are other issues, though. But we will talk about that when we come back. We'll just take a short break. Newsnight, the roundtable here in Newsnight. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Newsnight's Roundtable special on the task of rebuilding Marawi. Still with us, our guests, Marawi City Mayor Mahul Gandamra, Crisis Management Committee spokesperson Assemblyman Zia Alonto Adyong, and Presidential Advisor on Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion. We're moving into the last part of the discussion. We were talking earlier about rebuilding Marawi, not just the physical infrastructure, but everything else. I think the issue here, and even Mr. Concepcion, I think will agree with this, we just don't want to rebuild Marawi, but we want to rebuild a better Marawi, correct?
Yes.
Zia Adyong, we talked about the elephant in the room, no? So kanina napag-usapan, land ownership. What are the other things that, and also Mayor Gandamra, what are the other things that we want to address para hindi na, kumbaga, wag na tayo bumalik sa dati?
Okay. Well, number one, Lake Lanao is not only just a master centerpiece of Marawi City. It can also be a source of revenue, and it can also be tapped as possible source for the rehabilitation funding. Like the Agus River grade, actually there's a formula that actually the NPC has to provide as a form of compensation for the use of utilization of this hydroelectric power generated from the Lake Lanao. There's a problem with the budget. Of course, we know how we're talking about hundreds of billions of pesos. Even Architect Palafox came up with I guess 800 billion. That's too much already. If we if we ask the national government, there's actually a way for us to really source out possible funding for the rehabilitation of Marawi City, and that is number one. It could be from the hydroelectric power from NPC and from Lake Lanao. Right now, we only received I guess 0.1% of the share of the province in the city and the barangay where the Agus River traverse. So we can actually make certain additional income. Like why can't we not also implement and apply what they're applying in the case of Davao, in the case of Albay? We can also we can actually come up with a plan to set to allocate 1 peso per cubic meter for each water that is being used as a source of energy power. That could be that's one of the things. That's one of the things, and it would solve again the problem, because we've been asking for the just compensation, under the general clause of the Constitution. The people who actually inhabit this land should be the direct beneficiary of this land, and yet we are one of the cities.
So again, opportunity in crisis. Mayor Gandamra, is there anything else that we can do so that we rebuild Marawi better?
Yes, aside from rebuilding physically the infrastructures and the economic well-being of our people, there should also be some social responsibility and accountability for people. Sa nangyari ho sa Marawi City ay talagang I would say napabayaan, because most of our people yung bang ayaw nilang makilahok, ayaw nilang makialam pag may nakikita silang mga ganon. Just like what happened, hindi ho ang iba po ay natakot na isumbong sa authorities because they don't want to be engaged with redo with other family. So yan po, dapat to ay meron tayong social responsibility and accountability, dahil at the end of the day, lahat tayo apektado ng itong pangyayari sa Marawi City.
And of course as mayor, no?
Yes.
Okay. I have to say goodbye right now. So, Secretary Concepcion, thank you very much. Sorry, Mr. Concepcion, you were just promoted. Thank you for being here. Assemblyman Zia Adyong, thank you very much. Mayor Gandamra, maraming salamat po. And of course, Secretary Concepcion, a good thing na natapos ang Marawi dahil papunta na tayo sa ASEAN, right?
Yes, yes.
That's it for tonight. Thank you for your time. I'm Pia Hontiveros. See you again tomorrow for News Night, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The PNP anti-crime campaign revolves around the current operational thrust against wanted persons, organized crime groups, and terrorists. With this, I am pleased to announce the arrest of 2 ranking officials of the CPP-NPA last October 19, 2017 at about 1:30 in the afternoon in Barangay Dulao, Bagus City, Negros Occidental. Armed with a warrant of arrest, the combined elements of the Philippine Army, Armed Forces of the Philippines under Lieutenant General Rolando Bautista, and the PNP Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, Negros Occidental, arrested Aurora Cayon, Akalilay, forward kay Gunte, dalawa. Ikaw, Aurora Cayon, aka Lilay, identified as staff of the National Finance Commission, CPP-NPA. Parang controller ito siya. May hawak ng pera. And wanted for robbery with violence or intimidation of person and arson. And Louis Antonio Martinez, aka Louis Castro, identified as Infor Logistics of the National Military Commission of the CPP-NPA, and wanted for murder and multiple attempted murder. Parang logistics, tama. Cayon held several high positions in the CPP-NPA, such as member Exicom and head finance both of committing Mindanao, second Deputy Secretary of Southern Mindanao Regional Committee, and second Deputy Secretary of Northeastern Mindanao, and currently the staff of National Finance Committee. Upon the arrest of two CPP-NP members, caliber 45 pistol, a hand grenade, magazines, and ammunitions were confiscated from their possession. I am certain that the capture of the two officials will deal a great blow to the CPP-NPA group. Cases for violations of RA 10591, Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Law, and RA 9516, Illegal Possession of Explosives, docketed under NPS docket numbers V112 INQ 17J103 and VI12 INQ 17J104 were filed against Cayon and Martinez at the office of the City Prosecutor, Cabangcalan City, Negros Occidental. Now I urge the public to be more vigilant and report any actions or persons related to the terrorist group, while the PNP will enhance personal security and conduct preventive, proactive operations in coordination with the AAP units against the CPP-NPA, lawless elements and criminal groups to finish off insurgency and claim the peace in rural communities to achieve progress and prosperity. Thank you.
For questions pertaining to the topic, Ms. Joyce Cantos, Filipino Star, followed by Ms. Joy.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, was it established during interrogation if they are planning a bigger scenario just like the Distablat versus the government?
Pakiulit, Joy.
Are they planning a bigger scenario, sir? Are they planning a bigger scenario just like a Distablat versus the government?
A bigger scenario?
Yeah, sir.
I will ask my Mr. General Gapay if he has some information regarding that.
Well, ito naman ang continuing objective ng mga CPP-NPAs. Yung continuing destabilization of our government and disruption of the normal lives of our fellow Filipinos. Matagal nang ginagawa ito. So hindi na bago itong destabilizing actions ng CPP-NPA.
Sir, may reward po ba sila?
So far, wala pang, bago pa lang kasi ito na file ng mga kaso, hindi pa na lagyan ng corresponding rewards. Pinaprocess pa, ongoing pa, tumatakbo pa yung application for rewards.
Okay, sir. Sir, Secretary Lorenzana said some ISIS from Middle East, a Filipino were coming to the country. Do you have the same monitoring, sir? ISIS from Middle East coming here in the Philippines.
Well, we have just concluded the Marawi operations, and it dealt a significant blow on this global threat of terror here in our country. So as far as the infiltration of new foreign terrorists in our country, we haven't received any reports or monitored any foreign terrorists who have slipped into our country recently. This can be attributed to the enhanced and strengthened border security operations being undertaken by the Armed Forces of the Philippines, of course in tandem with the PNP, the Coast Guard, and other concerned government agencies. So itong mga borders natin, and also our borders are being protected also in cooperation with our allied nations, particularly Indonesia and Malaysia. So itong collaborative effort na ito prevented the further incursions of foreign terrorists in our country.
Satisfied, Joy?
Tanong ko lang, sir, kung may links to sa ISIS po kasi they're both terrorists.
Nasagot na. Magaling sumagot, Mr. Ako, number 1 ito ng klase namin. Number 1 ito ng PMA Class 86. Magaling yun. Alam ko, maganda pagkasagot niya. Naintindihan mo, no?
Sir,
Okay.
May links po ba sa ISIS tong...
ISIS?
Oh, yeah, sir, kasi they're both terrorists and they're... Yeah.
Na-establish ba natin? Numero? Wala, Joy.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, paano po ilang araw o ilang buwan, ilang linggo nating surveillance para sila mahuli? At yung second question ko, saang grupo ng NPA sila kabilang?
Sa kuan sila, Joy, sa Negros area sila, no? Doon sila nahuli. At when you say ilang buwan, kung kailan lumabas itong warrant of arrest, yung kaso na na-file sa kanila, doon na nag-start yung paghahanap sa kanila. Manhunt operations. Dahil hindi man natin mere membership ng CPP-NPA ngayon is decriminalized, di ba? Hindi mo sila pwede mahuli kung wala silang kaso. Walang warrant. Ito ngayon, nung lumabas ang warrant of arrest issued by the court, doon na nag-start. So, it took months of surveillance.
Sir, anong particular na posisyon nila sa NPA at ano ang impact nito sa pagkakahuli sa kanila?
Yung lalaki si Castro. Louis Martinez. Siya ay sa logistics. Siya pinakahit, kumbaga sa PNP, siya yung DL, Director for Logistics, PNP-wide. Kaya sa NPA, siya ang chief sa logistics. Yung babae naman, si Lilay Aurora Cayon, stop siya ng sa National Military Commission sa Finance Commission, siyang hari-hari doon. So parang controllership, director for controllership po sa PNP.
Okay.
So malaking blow ito dahil yun nga bread and butter of the NPA, ang organization ng NPA, itong finance and logistics. So, malaking blow ito sa kanila.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's stick to the topic first. Ms. Annalise Soberano, we will ask.
Okay, unang-una, they are members of the national level organization ng CPP-NPA. And yun nga, they are in charge with logistics and finance. And being top leaders sa organization, this is a major setback as far as yung communist-inspired insurgency na pinaperpetrate nitong CPP-NPA. So, ito ang in charge sa resource generation ng CPP-NPA, yung sustainment ng kanilang mga atrocities, sila nag-finance, sila nagbibigay ng logistic support. At yung kanilang pagkakahuli ay malaking setback dahil mababawasan ang suporta ng mga operating units nila. At marahil, most of the time, they've been operating in Mindanao under the Committing Mindanao, particularly sa Northeastern Regional Party Committee and Southern Mindanao Regional Committee. So, because of the pressure of the military operations doon sa Mindanao, napilitan sila ngayon lumipat sa Visayas upang ipagpatuloy yung kanilang resource generation activities o yung kanilang extortion. So, sa pag-aakala na hindi ganon kahigpit ang operasyon, ka-intensified ang operasyon ng military at PNP sa Visayas. Pero doon sila nagkamali. Alertong-alerto ang ating mga government security forces doon sa Visayas. Kaya it led to the capture itong dalawang ito. Well, marami silang pinagkukuhanan. First is yung nung nandun sila sa Mindanao, Number one is the mining companies natin, yung mining industry. Then pangalawa, yung agro-industrial natin. Pangatlo, yung mga infrastructure projects natin. And pangapat, yung mga private individuals na rin. So pag pinagsama-sama mo to, sa Mindanao alone, for the first 9 months of the year, we have already accounted 1.2 billion in extortion money na nakalap nitong mga CPP and PA sa Mindanao pa lang yon. So wala pa yung billion. 1.2 billion. So pag ito ay bumaba sa mga NPAs upang i-fund itong kanilang mga atrocities against government forces, against civilians, makikita naman natin yung mga arson incidents lately. Ito yung mga pina-fund nilang activities, atrocities ng mga NPAs. Kung marami silang pera, maraming atrocities ang kanilang may sasagawa. Kaya sa pagkakadakip ng dalawang ito, ay we expect a reduction and a serious blow to their atrocities ng mga NPAs.
Good afternoon. To address that question, we have evidence to support. Basically, andun yung warrant of arrest which confirms their participation in such atrocities. Number two, found in their possession also yung identification cards that proves that their person, the name, and the warrant matches. So they have to face it. Let the will of justice grind about this. So positive identification. Well, all suspects would do the same. Okay. I can only reveal what we have stated in this press statement. These efforts are still for follow-up investigations. No? Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. I would just like to confirm if you've gathered information on retaliatory attacks because, as you've said, this is such a big blow to the organization, which means that they are probably top people or officials from their organization. So are we expecting retaliation from their end?
Based on experience, we really expect for them to react. Gumagawa nga sila ng atrocities na walang nahuli sa kanila. How much more na ganito ka big fish yung nahuli natin sa kanila. So, we expect some retaliatory attacks coming from the CPP-NPA.
What will be the impact of this arrest to the ongoing efforts? I know that the peace talks has already stopped, but right now, but there are still some ongoing efforts to still push through with it. So, what will be the impact, sir?
We cannot be constrained. We cannot be hostage by the impending resumption of the peace talks from arresting them because they have standing warrant of arrest. So we are just implementing the law. Meron silang warrant of arrest, so we have to arrest them.
Without really divulging very important facts, have they already mentioned to you in your initial investigation, sir, if there are still other people whom you can arrest from their group?
Marisa, those are quite tactical information. No? They are informations of tactical value. We may as well, kung meron man kami nakuha, hindi mo natin i-divulge para magamit namin. Sayang din kung malaman.
Sir, linawin ko na lang din, no? Since you've mentioned that these are big fish and it's a big blow to the organization, pero hindi ba madali namang mapalitan sila kung sakaling they're in charge of the logistics and the finances? hawak ba nila nung naaresto sila yung mismong pondo na yun? Or have they left it somewhere else? Were you able to gather that big amount in order to really say na talagang malaking dagok talaga to sa kanilang organisasyon?
Unless, no, bago sila nahuli, nakapag-sign sila ng mga withdrawal slip, if their money are deposited in banks, kapag sign na sila ng mga withdrawal slip, maybe, madali lang palitan. Pero kung if their resources are stuck somewhere, kung saan sila lang ang may alam, then mahirapan sila.
Sir, sa organizational chart, sir, pang ilan sila, sir, doon sa, sa mga leader ng NPA?
As we have said, nasa staff sila, no? Wala sila doon sa chain of command. When you say chain of command, yung mga command group yan, commanders. Commander, deputy commander, like that, the regional director, pababa. Sila ay staff. Kumbaga, yung as we have explained, kung sa PNP, director for logistics, yung isa, at yung isa, director for controllership.
Sir, isa na lang.
At the national level,
Okay.
hindi sa regional or local. National, sa buong CPP-NPA.
Sir, ilan pa yung hinahabol natin, sir?
Naghahabol tayo?
Oh, yes, sir. Sa mga official ng NPA.
Dami pang may warrant dyan na NPA. Ang dami. Marami pa.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, tungkol po doon, sir, sa sinasabing member and financier ng Maute Group na si Amin Kisa Makadato. Ano po ba, sir, yung background nito, sir? Tsaka gaano po ang kalaki ang role niya sa Maute Terrorist Group?
Okay, to answer that question, ito si Amin Kisa Makadato. Involved siya doon sa pag-atake ng Maute Group against Charlie Company of the 51st Infantry Battalion, detachment sa Barangay Bayanao, Butig, Lanao del Sur, noong February 2016. That was last year. No? And involved din siya sa facilitation ng mga firearms, ammunition. So he provides logistics also. He included siya doon sa mga nasa list ng Martial Law Instruction Number 1 and Arrest Order ng Martial Law Administrator. So malaki ang participation niya, yung pag-follow up ng ating mga intelligence operatives together with security forces, intelligence operatives ng Philippine Army led to the location niya sa Valenzuela. And eventually, last October 7, we were able to successfully arrest him based also on the warrant of arrest that was issued. Kasi last year pa nga yung kanyang mga holdings natin. Let me take this opportunity also to underscore the importance of collaboration, cooperation ng AFP at PNP, but most especially yung community. Yung mga taong, common tao, our informants, our BIN, sila actually yung first line namin ng informants that led to these successful operations. Yung mga threat groups, makikita nyo ngayon, yung AFP and PNP are together addressing this. Lalo na, meron tayong ASEAN Summit, 31st next month. So, very vigorous yung aming operations.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, so financier nga po siya, sir, ng Maute Terrorist Group, sir?
Logistical support.
Okay. Sir, follow-up question ko na. Relative po ba siya, sir, ng Maute Brothers? Pamangkin daw po ng Maute Matriarch na si Farhana?
That's anak siya he's the son of former mayor ng Butig, Makadato. Hindi pa namin na-affirm, but it's a big clan. So, we will still determine it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Sir, saan po ngayon nakakulong si Makadato, sir? Tapos ayun muna, sir.
Saan nakakulong?
Right now, I don't have the information, but I can provide you with the information later. Kasi this was done last October 7, but from Valenzuela, maybe they have, high risk Valenzuela. Okay. But in the same manner that yung mga high risk kasi, we are also applying for change in the venue of the detention. We would like to inform you na pag ganito mga high risk detainees, nililipat namin sila sa mas secured na detention. Of course, all under the following the procedures, legal procedures. Thank you.
Sir, may mga binanggit na bang mga mahalagang impormasyon itong si Makadato? Opo, na pwedeng ipaalam po sa publiko. Mga mahalagang information mula po dito sa financier.
Ongoing pa yung ating we regret to inform you na these are operational details na hindi natin pwedeng i-relay sa public as of the meantime. But we assure you that continuous ang ating ang efforts, information gathering. Okay. Investigation to
Before we end, we just would like to recognize the following na involved dito sa operations na ito. Aside from the CIDG and the units of the Philippine Army, we would like to recognize Brigadier General Eliser Losañez, the commander of the 303rd Brigade, the Philippine Army. Siya yung brigade commander doon sa Negros. Other units involved were the 16th Intelligence Security Unit, the 303rd Brigade, Philippine Army, 3rd Infantry Division, Philippine Army, CIDG Negros Occidental, PRO6, 7th ISU AIR.
Sir, last na lang. Sir, yung reaction po sa survey na 37% ng mga Pilipino ay hindi na naniniwala na nanlaban itong mga drug suspect na namatay.
37?
Yes, sir. 37% na mga...
Akala ko mas marami. Bakit mas kukunti ngayon?
Bagong survey yan.
Bagong survey? Ano ibig mong sabihin nun na-realize ng mga tao bigla na nanlaban pala talaga? Confused ako. Confused ako dyan sa survey na yan. I don't want to... Kasi nung una, parang 7 out of 10 o 8 o 7 out of 10 hindi naniniwala na nanlaban. Ngayon naman, 3 out of 10 naniniwala na nanlaban. Sinong nag-survey yan?
SWS.
SWS. So, anyway, I leave it up to you kung totoo man yan. Again, hindi ibig sabihin na porke pabor sa amin, maniniwala kagad kami. At pag hindi pabor sa amin, hindi kami maniniwala. Kung talagang yan ang sentimento ng taong bayan, ng general public, they will thank you. Thank you, Filipino, for trusting your PNP. Although 37%, 3 out of 10,
mas marami pa rin, sir.
Mas marami pa rin naniniwala, di ba? Maraming salamat. Kung talagang that is the true sentiment of the general public.
Oh, sir, dahil dyan gusto bang bumalik na ang PNP sa anti-drug operations?
Sarap na ng buhay namin ngayon. Tapos, babalik mo na naman kami sa masalimuot na buhay. But sa totoo lang, we have invested a lot doon sa war on drugs. Nasasayangan rin kami yung pag-pull out namin. Pero kung ibabalik kami ni Presidente, then we are ready. We are ready to rock and roll anytime. Ready.
Sorry.
Sige.
Sir, just a follow-up dun sa riding in tandem. Kasi di ba yesterday, sorry sir pero kahapon kasi sinabi nyo na bumababa na, probably that really is the information that was given to you. Pero just a while ago, 1:15 a.m., binaril po ng riding in tandem ang isang sundalo na kagagaling lang sa Marawi. Kauuwi lang niya from Marawi nung Sunday lang siya umuwi. Tapos nagbibilyar lang siya, bigla siyang binaril ng riding in tandem. So, does this anger you upon learning this information? And ano ang mga hakbang pa ng PNP, especially that you're really right now on the top of the war against riding in tandem?
Mas ma-angry ako dahil sundalo yun eh. Galing pa sa Marawi. Mas nagagalit tayo. Nagagalit nga yung mga kritiko na mga drug pusher yung namamatay, di ba? Ngayon pa kaya na sundalo yung namatay, mas magalit ako. Well, as I have said, riding in tandem, this is not an excuse, but just to clear everybody's mind, riding in tandem crimes have been happening since na-invento yung motorsiklo na yan, nung lumakas yung paggamit ng motor na yan. But right now, we are proud to say na bumaba talaga yung riding in tandem incidents since pumasok tayo sa yung umalis tayo sa war on drugs.
So upon learning this, sir, ano ang hakbang ninyo? Sundalo pa yung namatay.
The more na magagalit tayo, the more na papalo-upin natin yan. Saan ba na nangyari?
Sir, galing sa Marawi.
Teka, saan ba na nangyari ang incident?
Sa Pagadian.
Pagadian?
Pagadian. So nagbibilyar lang to. Siguro, he was just relaxing after a very tedious experience in Marawi. And he gets killed.
So, yan naman most of the time, pag gano'n na mga pangyayari, lalong-lalo doon sa southern Philippines, sa Mindanao, pag ganyan, although wala pang result ng investigation, but most likely, nagpipenetrate yan, mga threat groups, member of the threat groups. So, hindi ko pinangunahan yung investigasyon, pero most likely, nangyari naman gano'n, mga threat groups ang tumitira. So, titingnan natin, pa-imbestigahan natin.
Sir, baka may mas maganda lang kayong soundbite kasi ang sinasabi naman ng SWS, mga parang 3 or almost 4 out of 10 ang hindi naniniwala. Ibig sabihin, mas marami pa rin ang naniniwala. Again, kung mas marami pa rin ang naniniwala, your reaction to this? Kasi parang kanina medyo,
Ako?
Mas marami pa rin ang naniniwala, pero almost 4 out of 10, kung sinabing 37%.
Saan sila naniniwala?
Hindi sila naniniwala dun sa drug na totoong nanlaban.
Hindi sila naniniwala.
Sir, naniniwala. Sir,
Yeah.
mas marami po naniniwala na yung hindi nanlaban.
Pati nga kayo, nakukonfuse
sir. Na hindi nanlaban.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin, 3 out of 10 ang naniniwala na hindi nanlaban yung mga namamatay. Ibig sabihin, mas marami pa rin, 7 out of 10 pa rin yung naniniwala na nanlaban yung mga namatay. Di ba? Ganun lang by virtue of deduction. Deduction. Ha?
Sir, the other way around.
Sige nga.
Mas marami po yung basahin mo na lang. Eto sir, basahin ko na lang.
Kaya basahin mo.
Ayan, the third quarter 2017 social weather survey found that 37% of adults Filipinos say the police are not telling the truth, that the suspects they killed had put up a fight. Talagang nanlaban sa kanila in Filipino. The survey was... basahin ko pa. The survey, ayan, September 23 to 27, 2017. The respondents were asked to answer this. In the government's campaign against illegal drugs, the police are definitely telling the truth, probably telling the truth, undecided in telling the truth or not, probably not telling the truth, and definitely not telling the truth, that the suspects they killed really resisted them.
Sir, clarify lang natin. This is the same survey, September 22, 23, 27. Basically, the same questions were already posted. So why do we have to bring it out again when it's already been addressed?
Ayun nga piece by piece. Piecemeal attack ginagawa nila sa amin Ha? Very obvious, that's piecemeal attack. Dahil nilabas na nila yan. Noon pa pala sa survey na yan. Ngayon, dandahan na naman ipapalabas yung question by question by question, which para bang naubusan na tayo ng bala na pangtira sa PNP. The same magazine pa rin. Pero huminto ng putok. Yan, may laman pa rin magazine. Putok na naman isa. Okay? Wala nang tumitira sa PNP ngayon Pagkahibig naman, putok na naman ng isa. So parang gano'n, piecemeal attack.
Sir, hindi ba kayo parang nagtataka na sunod-sunod yung ganyan na survey?
Ha?
Tapos, na nagtataka kayo na ganyan sunod-sunod ang survey? And are you questioning, sir, yung SWS survey?
Hindi ko kini-question. Bahala sila kung ano yung ginagawa nila sa survey na yan. But, ang pinagtataka ko nga lang, bakit dandahan lang nilalabas? Ibig sabihin ba na ayaw nalang papahingahin yung PNP? Umalis na nga kami dyan sa war on drugs. Palabas pa rin kayo ng palabas ng mga question na matagalan na settled long time ago. Nilabas na yan. Para bang yung picture nung namatay na biktima doon na sinasabi nilang poster boy, na kahit na matagal na nangyari yun, babalik-balik na pinapalabas sa Inquirer, sige, pakita doon, kahit na matagal lang tapos. What's the motive behind? Anong motibo? Di ba?
Sir, yung Quezon City, may pinasang reso, binigay kay President Duterte na ibalik daw sa inyo. Nagre-request ang Quezon City government ibalik sa PNP yung drug
War on drugs. Flattered. Sarap na ng buhay namin ngayon, tapos pabalikin namin. Pero that means talaga, yung city government ng Quezon City, alam nila yung enormity of the problem. At alam nila kung gaano yung ginawa, ano yung ginagawa ng pulis nila. So may tiwala pa rin sila sa pulis nila. Gusto nila ibalik eh. So may tiwala pa rin sila sa kanilang pulis. So maraming salamat sa information na yun. Bago tayo mag-party, i-kwan mo natin, i-remind natin yung publiko, yung public, general public, na pag kayo'y pupunta sa sementeryo, itong undas, please observe the policies being implemented doon sa sementeryo. Bawal ang alak, bawal ang malalakas na sounds, bawal yung mga bladed weapons, firearms, binabawal yan doon. Kaya, huwag na lang kayo magdala para hindi kayo ma-inconvenience pagpasok nyo sa mga sementeryo. Doon naman sa pamamahay ninyo, kung kayo'y umalis, walang maiwan sa inyong pamamahay, ihabilin ninyo sa mga kapitbahay na naiiwan doon. O kaya sa mga village sa watchmen, mga barangay tanods na paikot-ikutan yung inyong bahay para hindi magpista yung mga akyat bahay.
Sir Carlos, last na.
Okay?
Sir, last na. Sir, may mga kumakalat naman na text ulit na sa latest Pulse Asia survey daw, kasama kayo sa 2019 senatorial
balik-balik na naman yan. Mamaya, tirahin na naman tayo dyan.
Meron nga, sir. Meron nga. Kasama kayo, sir, yung pangalan nyo. Magic 12, sir.
Tatakbo ako ng barangay captain doon sa barangay Bato, Santa Cruz, Davao del Sur. Baka barangay kapitan ng Bato. Hindi. Nagbibiro lang ako. Basta ganito lang. Ayaw kong ma-misinterpret nyo ako. From today hanggang matapos yung pagiging chief PNP ko sa January 21, 2018, next year. Yung utak ko talaga nakafocus, paano ko yung remaining days ko sa PNP, paano ko makapagserbisyo, makatulong sa ating presidente sa kanyang mithiin na magkakaroon ng magandang Pilipinas. Yun lang yung aking focus ngayon. Wala akong focus na pamulitika. Baka ma-misinterpret nyo ako. Matagal pa, malayo pa yun eh. 2019 pa yun. Huwag niyong isipin yan. Pamulis mo na itong trabaho ko ngayon. Ayaw ko munang madawit dyan sa pamulitika. Yun lang. Salamat ha. Salamat. Thank you. October 30? Naku. Bakit naman 30?
Nako naman. Thursday na lang, sir. Ngayon Thursday.
Pwede nyo gawing kwan? 29? Ha? Sunday yan? Sunday? O, Sabado. Sabado nights. Sabado nights. Mas maganda ba? Sabado. Ayaw nyo? Friday na. Sige.